Hi, Student Success. Welcome to week 2 of the semester. Hopefully you have made your way through week 1 with success, both in this class and any other classes that you're taking, and that you're getting more comfortable with just the general navigation of our course. So I am going to go ahead, and we are in week 2 now, but I just want to remind you that information up here will be here all semester long, so you will always have access to these videos in case you needed to kind of freshen up your memory. You will always have access to these discussion boards as well as the syllabus. So just keep in mind you can continue to use that information up there. I also want to just remind you that your textbook access is right there, although it is embedded in every week as well. And then please be sure to check out the workshop assignment. The video is there and uploaded. At this point, you only have 7 weeks to register and take or attend a workshop or student life event. So please make sure you check this video out so that you are not going to wind up in week 8 panicking trying to find something that'll work for you. All right, so in week 2, there are just 2 videos. Please make sure you spend some time in the chapter. We're covering chapter 4 this week, so you can see that the chapters do not necessarily go in order. We skipped over chapter 3 for now. So spend some time with the video if you prefer to watch the video, or if you would like to get into, excuse me, the materials and look at the link, the slideshows. There's also some other extra links in here that correlate with this week's chapter and content if you wanted some extra materials, better listening, note-taking, that type of thing. So you are definitely free to check those out as well. Not required, just there for you in case you would like them. All right, so let's take a look at week 2 snapshot here. This is, I think, a lot more manageable this week, thankfully. So you have 3 assignments this week. And you'll see what I mean. So you are taking the How Well Do You Listen survey and then completing the discussion form. So it's kind of like it's 2 in 1, but they go together. You have to complete the survey to complete the discussion form. So that's why I say take the survey first, and then you'll be able to post your original response. So you want to do both of those things by Wednesday. So you need to take the survey to be able to post. So you have to do both of those by Wednesday for week 1 attendance, and then respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. So again, just remember, I know this happened in the first week, no big deal. If you forget to post on time, please still post, even if it's late, so you can get partial attendance as well as full points for your post itself. Then you will also have a chapter 4 assignment this week and a note-taking assignment. So that is what this video is going to go over so that you know exactly what to do for each of these assignments. So we're going to scroll down to the assignments area, and here is the How Well Do You Listen survey. So it's going to open up, hopefully, into this here, and it's one of these interactive, talking to you ones.
Now that you've read about focused listening, for each of the following questions.
Okay, so you're going to go through a series of questions, and really you're just kind of answering always, sometimes, never. At the end, you're going to get a result. To me, it's not very specific, but it's still going to give you a result. It's going to tell you, like, you're a great listener, you have some things to improve upon, whatever that might look like for you. So once you get your result, then you can come into the How Well Do You Listen discussion board. We're going to go to topic. And in here, it has the prompt here. It says, after completing the How Well Do You Listen self-assessment survey, it says above because it was originally above in the folder. You're going to answer these 3 questions. How did you do? You'll be like, oh, it told me that I do great work or that I need some improvements. Did it surprise you? Like, no, I know that I struggle, or yes, I actually think I do better, whatever the case is. And then what is your plan for improvement? So how are you going to be a more active listener in class or with your online courses, with lectures and things like that? So again, you have to complete the How Well Do You Listen assessment first, and then you can answer these questions. So when you're ready, you'll start a new thread, it'll repopulate the prompt, you answer your questions, and then eventually, hopefully, you'll go back in and respond to 2 classmates in there. Okay, so once again, this is kind of like a 2-for-1. You have to complete this to be able to complete that. So please make sure that you remember that, and this will even have a due date of Wednesday. It'll come up and say, hey, Wednesday it's due, because it's tied to your discussion post. And that is, again, also your attendance for the week. All right, chapter 4 assignment. So this is a Word doc. So you'll get in here, and down here is your Word doc. You'll open this up. It's going to open up into this table here. So chapter 4 has a lot to do with listening, note-taking, and memory. So that's what this chapter assignment focuses on, each of those 3 areas. So here's how you fill this out. You're going to go through and come up with 2 action plans, 2 things you're going to do to be able to improve upon your listening, 2 things to improve upon your note-taking, 2 things to improve upon your memory. So if you're like, I have no idea, you can go back into the text, the video, the slides, whatever you need to go to revisit to be able to get this information. And even if you think you're a pretty solid listener or solid note taker, still kind of think of things you might be able to do to improve upon that. When are you going to take those actions? So is it the next time you're sitting in a class, the next time you log on to your online course, next week, next semester? When? And then how will you know you've improved your listening? How will you know you've improved your note taking? And how will you know your memory has improved? So that is what you're filling out for the chapter 4 assignment. You will save this and you will Dropbox this. So here you will have a Dropbox. Okay, and remember, if you forget how to Dropbox things, up here there's a file or a video that talks about uploading files. So that is your chapter 4 assignment. Okay, so that is also due on Sunday. All right, now the last thing you're doing, there's a couple different parts to this. So you're going to open this up. You can see there's everything in its own folder just pertaining to this assignment. You're going to first watch this workshop video. So this is a workshop video that was recorded, I want to say like a year ago now. It's about a half an hour long. It'll eventually. There we go. So actually it's a little less than half an hour because at the end, there's also some questions. And at the end, I also in this video, so it's like a weird meta thing. Inside this video, I also talk about the assignment. So you're going to maybe hear some of it duplicated, but you're going to watch the note-taking assignment video. Then you're going to hop into the note-taking assignment. This is the work that you are going to actually complete that's associated with the workshop video. Hopefully, once this loads here. But while that's thinking about it, inside the note-taking workshop, there's a PowerPoint. The copy of that PowerPoint is right here. So you can also use that to look at. All right, so here is the assignment. Here's what you're actually going to turn in after you watch this video or look through the PowerPoint. You are going to complete this outline. Now, whenever you can see like click here, I would go here, hit download, and then it's going to open up into the Word doc right here. So you can actually start typing. Again, this is where I'm going to emphasize how important it is for you to have Microsoft Word because Google Docs and things are not always compatible with Brightspace. So you're going to go through, this is part 1, the outline part, and essentially it's just guiding you through how to complete an outline. Most of you have probably already done an outline before. This is just me kind of emphasizing that because it is one of the note-taking strategies discussed inside the workshop. So you'll go through anywhere it says click or tap to enter text, and you're just going to fill in the missing pieces. So like, obviously that's not correct, but you can see how like I typed right there. So any place where you see click or tap here to enter text, it's missing information. And all of that information, again, is either found in the video itself, so you can certainly pull this up and have it going as you watch the video, or you can also come down here and pull up the PowerPoint that is used in the video itself. So this has the information. So the PowerPoint is a great reference for that as well. Hopefully all of your Wi-Fi is working more quickly than my Wi-Fi this morning. All right, so that is what you're doing for the note-taking part 1. You're filling in this outline. Now, part 2 is below because the note-taking workshop also talks about Cornell notes. And so it says, read the attached article. So I will show you that the article is right underneath it, easy to get to. There is also a link to the article. So if you wanted to click on the link and get there, or there's the PowerPoint, or here's the article right here. So it's embedded multiple different places. So the first thing you're going to do is read that article. And again, it's not terribly long. It's about AI. It was written in 23, so it's already a little outdated, but that's not kind of worrisome for this assignment. You're going to read through, like I said, it's pretty quick, like a page and a half of reading it all together. Once you have read the article, you're going to fill out the Cornell notes. So it tells you right here, your notes should cover at least 3 main points. So 1, 2, 3, you can do more if you wish. And then a 2 to 3 sentence summary, which is what will go down here. If you're like, I have no idea how to do Cornell notes. Well, that is what the whole note-taking workshop video will talk about, as well as the PowerPoint. So there are references here. Cornell notes are also talked about inside the Chapter 4 video, the Chapter 4 textbook link, the Chapter 4 slides. You can also Google Cornell notes. So there's lots of references and resources to be able to utilize if you're like, I'm not really sure how to do this. All right. So I'm going to talk about that one more time because I just want to make sure very clear. First, you need to watch the workshop video or the PowerPoint, and you're going to fill in this outline anywhere that says, click or tap here, all the way through the outline. Then part 2, you will read the article. Easiest might just be to scroll right down, read the article, and then fill in the Cornell notes with at least 3 main points here. Remember, main point, expand over here, and then 2 to 3 sentence summary. When you're done, you're just going to save this and you will Dropbox it. You will have a Dropbox right there that you can submit. So of course, like I don't have it as an instructor, but you will be able to submit it right there. All right, so let's go ahead and do a real quick recap with our assignments to make sure that we know what we're doing this week. So again, you're going to spend some time in Chapter 4 over listening, note-taking, and your memory. You are going to complete the How Well Do You Listen survey and discussion by Wednesday because that'll help you complete your attendance and then your post. So post your original response by Wednesday after completing that survey because your discussion board counts on you talking about your results. Respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. Complete your Chapter 4 assignment, which was where you were filling in this table right here, by Sunday. And then spend some time in the note-taking skills workshop. Watch the video, go through the slides, and turn in the assignment. Remember, there are 2 parts. Please don't forget to scroll down and do both parts. If you have any questions on anything from this week, please reach out and let me know. Have a great week.